Hey, sports porchers. It's your hockey Jesus with game 62, Pittsburgh Penguins at the Boston Bruins. Well, today, Pittsburgh Penguins play a matinee game up in Beantown, and unfortunately, the results were much like the last one. The Pens get shellacked in Boston. There was a few highlights that we'll go over in the first period, but overall, it looked like the same effort from these Pittsburgh Penguins. Just don't have it anymore, people. But this is why you come to the Hockey Jesus for the real analysis, for what's really going on with the Penguins. Look, I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to give you my analysis of the Penguins' playoff chances today. And I'm also going to give you a little insight into the Jake Gensel trade. So, sit back and relax. Jump on the porch. And let's get to the game. Today, the Pittsburgh Penguins lose 5-1. Honestly, this team has played the same pretty much the last 10 games or so. They've come out. And the Pittsburgh Penguins outshot the Boston Bruins 14-8 in the first period. Played a pretty even period, I thought. Had a chance to really kind of get it together with a power play chance there at the end of the period. And they could never really find a way to get the puck behind Linus Ullmark today. And really, that first period was the telltale sign. Boston just wasn't ready to come out to play. They let Pittsburgh dictate the play. And actually, I thought Bunning on that first line looked pretty good with Sid. I mean, they don't have a lot of chemistry, and that's going to take a little bit of time, I think. But I thought Bunning looked really good trying to get into the slot, get in a position to really enable himself to score. Boy, it sure would have been nice if he could have scored on that breakaway. But I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Hockey gods were not smiling upon the Penguins in that first period. Hey, but 14-8 after the first period, you're figuring, okay, we played them even. And, you saw the statistic if you're watching the ABC game where it said that, if Boston gets a goal in the first period, they're pretty much lights out, which is ironic because I think they scored 2 goals against the Penguins the last time they played in Boston, and Pittsburgh ended up winning that game. So I don't know. Sometimes those statistics don't mean anything, but usually they're pretty spot on. But they said that, even if the Penguins do get the first goal, they're not a very good team either. So they come out in the second period and really they finish up the power play with just a whimper, and then right away Boston scores. Pasternak just buries one. Look, you can't let that guy shoot. He's a 40-goal scorer in the NHL. If you let him shoot in the slot like that, you're just playing with fire, and they got burnt on that one. Really, that was all they needed. Zacha and Marchand score after that. Marchand scored on just a terrible, terrible change. You could see with the Pittsburgh Penguins as that period went on how just demoralized they were as a team. They always seemed to be bunched up together. They never seemed to be running any plays. They just seem to be out there going through the motions. That's the way I see it as a Penguins fan. If you see something different, let me know, because I don't really see this team playing with a lot of structure. I don't see this team playing with a lot of energy. I don't see this team doing anything but going through the motions out there. And look, once again, they still had the shot lead at the end of the second, 25-17, but they were down 3-0. I mean, how can you have such a disparate in shots and still be just so far away from even competing against a team like Boston? Look, I think Boston's a pretty good team. Don't get me wrong. They've got almost the most amount of points in all of the NHL. So clearly they're a really good team, but they rely on their goaltending. And it's really interesting that Linus Ullmark actually could have been traded at the deadline, but he nixed the trade because of a clause he has in his contract of not being able to go to the Kings. So he could have not even been playing in this game. I don't know if that's serendipitous for you Boston fans out there, but hey, he stuck around and he got the win, 6-1. The Pens showed a little bit of push in the third period, but look, Sid wins a face-off, goes back to Letang, and he just bangs it in off the sidebar and in. A great shot by Letang. But their first goal in 100 minutes. Look, this team in the last 7 games have gone 1-6. They've been outshot 26-10 in the last 7 games, and 5 of those 10 goals came in a win against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is how much of a futile effort this Pittsburgh Penguins team has had. And I've been saying it all season. Look, this is my 60-second report to you guys out there in hockey land. By the way, I'm so happy for you guys to have hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, hit it now. This is where you get real live response from fans. I've been a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins forever. I love NHL hockey. My goal here as the Hockey Jesus is to get more people passionate about the game, regardless of whether your team's going to be in the playoffs or out of the playoffs. Hockey is for everyone. Hockey is life. Hockey Jesus is here to give you the truth. And look, these Pittsburgh Penguins are just not getting it done. They didn't get it done tonight. So that's the game analysis. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins playoff chances. Look, they were 3.2% or something like that coming in. Clearly, it's going to go. The percentage is going to go down. It's not at 0% yet, but what did I say? They needed to go 12-4-4 in the last 20 games in order to make it into the playoffs. I just don't see this happening with this team. I think Sullivan has lost the team. I don't see the spark. Honestly, the thing I'm looking for with the Penguins in these last 20 games is, are they going to play for Sully? Are they just going to roll over and they're just going to need a new coach next year? Will Dumas have to make a change at the head coaching position? Look, he has said that he really thinks that Sully's the guy for the job. I think that we're actually missing something here, and this is semi-related to the Jake trade. I'll get to that in a second, but I think there's something going on with upper management and the GM and what's going on at the coaching level and what's getting down to the player level. When I heard today on ABC that they said that Dubas didn't go to Jake until Thursday about the trade. Like he didn't know he was going to be traded until Thursday. That seemed a little odd to me, just because this team has not really been in it for a while. And I know you won't go to the player and say, "Hey, we're definitely going to be trading you," but it seems strange that Dubas wouldn't have been able to pull a trade earlier in the week, only because it seemed like as the day was going on, Thursday into Friday, it looked like the market was weakening, meaning it looked like people who were in a position of buying had more of the buying power. And look, I've seen the reports about the trades that could have been out there. I don't believe anything that could have been out there. I just know what was on the table. And look, clearly Carolina held on to their top prospects because they could. And that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And here's why. Our farm system is so decimated with no talent. We have to start building it up. We have to start building up draft picks. And this is how you build a team for the future. It's not like the NFL, where the NFL, you can get a first round draft pick and they're guaranteed to play. There are very few NHL players that play the first year they are drafted. Very few, maybe the top 5 picks. Clearly, if somebody's a phenom like Connor Bedard, but they are the exception to the rule. So Pittsburgh, what they have to do is gather picks and players and figure out who's who. Now, do they have the coaching staff in place? Do they have the GM? Do they have the right player developmental people in place to analyze those who are coming on? That's Dubas's next goal. He's going to have to figure that out. If he's got Sully, who's going to be the guy who's going to do it. I don't know the head coach down in Wilkes-Barre, but is he the right guy to evaluate the talent? Is he the right person to make this talent better for the future? This is not okay, we'll get great picks. Look, if you go out and got Carolina's number 1 pick and you played them this year, how much does that really help you? Not much. But if you get 1 or 2 guys who can play on maybe the second line and the fourth line out of this, Okay, next year, throughout the year, that's a win. You got younger. That's how you get younger. Look, we're the second oldest team in the NHL, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we got there because of this reason. Just not able to bring up talent because one, we didn't have it, and two, we're not grooming it. This is a sea change of thought process for you as fans, for me as the hockey Jesus, to make it real for you guys. And that's what's going to be happening in the last 20 games. So if you like the analysis, stick around because there's going to be more tomorrow as the Pittsburgh Penguins play tomorrow afternoon. The Edmonton Oilers are in town. That's right. The oil is in the Berg. And that means Connor McDavid will be center stage against Sidney Crosby once again. Look, there's a lot to analyze. There's still 20 games to go, so I hope you come back for every bit of analysis here on the porch. We're here after every hockey game, and we're definitely here on Monday nights at 7:30. So stop in by the porch. Remember, hit that subscribe button. Smash it now. You'll get the Hockey Jesus right in your in-bid for more analysis of what's going on with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And look, after the Penguins are out of it, I'm not going away. I got the playoffs. I love the hockey. So let's stick with it. And let's stick with the Pens for now. So, Pittsburgh Penguins fans, just remember to keep the faith and let's go Pens.